I want to briefly talk to you about Yuga in Vedic texts, which is spoken of as the concept of cosmic time. When you say cosmic time, the cycles, the greater cycles of the solar system, of how we position ourselves in the galaxy, what are the time cycles we are talking in terms of human consciousness evolution, and where it's going, and so on and so forth. So, quickly, let me take you through the 7 points I have listed over there, which is important for lightworker sensitivities and everybody to know why I felt. And this is the way it came to be. So that picture over there, keep that in mind. Let me first take you through the picture and the basics of this. So there you see in the hidden shades is the spiral galaxy, the Milky Way that we live in. And the sun is placed on this arm of the galaxy, the outer rims of the galaxy. Okay, it's in the Orion spur. As we can see, there are various arms noted by the science, the outermost arm, the Perseus arm, the Sagittarius arm, and so on and so forth. There are lots of these arms designated depending upon the distance in thousands or tens of thousands of light years. Okay, Ly is light years. So 45,000 light years, 60,000 light years. We are somewhere around the 45,000 light year mark on the Orion spur there. Our sun and the solar system. The solar system is revolving around the sun. So the sun being the center point of how it revolves around the center of the galaxy. Now this is what I could make out, this is strictly my take, okay? Based on some things which I have discovered from the Vedic texts. So this is basically Veda centric. And what they have to say is, as this red line, the big red oval, is the orbit of the sun around the center of the galaxy. Some say around the center of the great central sun. The great central sun or the great star, I would interpret. There's lots of contradictions about this, but this is what I have to make out. Now, the sun has an eccentric elliptical orbit around the great central sun or around the center of the galaxy. It's got 2 points, as any ellipse has 2 centers, and one was designated by the ancients as Vishnu Nabhi. Nabhi means in Sanskrit as the navel center. Vishnu Nabhi, and the other one as Rudra Nabhi. The 2 centers of this ellipse, any ellipse has 2 centers. One center lies in the center of the galaxy, the other one lies at the other extreme, opposite end, the farthest end from it. And these are the 4 cycles of time in ascending and descending mode as the sun circles, as you can see me pointing there. If you're watching on my podcast, please watch the YouTube channel. So this elliptical orbit, the red line, is the orbit which sun and hence the solar system and hence the earth follows around the center of the galaxy. And because of this orbit, there are 2 cycles we follow in terms of human consciousness evolution and de-evolution. This is what I have designated as ascension and descension out of that. So as the sun and the solar system move towards the center of the galaxy, there is raising in consciousness because there is lots of influx of higher vibrations from the center of the galaxy. The galactic center as a spiritual core of what it holds as evolution for all the planets and all the systems, for all the species in the entire galaxy, it becomes the center of evolution. So there's lots of knowledge of the galactic evolution and all the planets thereof held within the center. Everything has to be held at a gravitational point. Spiritually speaking, we are speaking only in spiritual esoteric terms here. So the point number 1 is Vishnu Nabhi is the center of the galaxy, Rudra Nabhi as the farthest point away from the center. Each yuga or time cycle is in millions of years. This is what I find, because the Vedic texts say in thousands of years. Nothing happens in tens of thousands of years, folks. The orbit around the one orbit of sun around the galaxy will take 215 million years. 250 million years. How does it make 10,000 or even 100,000 any significance, right? So I believe the interpretation is wrong in that context. in terms of thousands of years, it has to be in millions of years. They're missing some zeros there. Considering 250 million years as one solar year around the galactic center. This is the one solar year around the galactic center. Now, they divided the portion into 4 yugas or 4 parts, okay, in the ascending and in the descending cycle. The ascending cycle also has the same, descending cycle also has the same, in reverse order. So it goes from Kali Yuga, the farthest point. You can see the shaded parts there, right, which I'm pointing to, which is 12.5 million years. Then we go to Dwapara Yuga, which is 25 million years. Treta Yuga, which is 37.5 million years. And the last Satya Yuga, which is 50 million years. I have marked 100 million on both sides of it. Okay. So the total time of Satya Yuga is about 100 million years. Okay. And the the spiritual ascension process, or the higher evolution of consciousness, where entire humanity is pushed up a level, is between one yuga to another yuga, going in the positive cycle. Let's say you're going from this, as I'm pointing here, from Kali Yuga to Dwapara Yuga. You make a transition. You start thinking about higher stuff. Then Dwapara Yuga to Treta Yuga, more higher stuff. Treta Yuga to Satya Yuga, everybody is almost realized, right? You have no such thing as war at all. You have no such thing as a conflict when you are in Satya Yuga. You are in harmony with one another. This is the final desiring point. As it nears Vishnu Nabhi, as it nears the center of the galaxy, this entire solar system, the influx of light continues to build, and it takes millions of years. Right? Last time when the solar system was here, that's where we are apparently right now. We are at the end of Dwapara Yuga, which is the technological beginning age. The peak of technology is achieved during Treta Yuga. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. What does these 2 points mean? The Vishnu Nabhi and the Rudra Nabhi. When you are farthest away, when the entire solar system is farthest away from the galactic center, there is least amount of consciousness on the planet. Speaking from the point of view of consciousness. So human beings in Kali Yuga, the farthest point, which many believe we are in right now, I don't think so. Kali Yuga is the most dense point where everything is very dark. You are living like an animal. Human beings living like animals, like cavemen, for example. They're just living for bread and butter and reproduction and then die. There's no thinking or awareness of science, of anything beyond what the eyes can see. Just living in basic survival mode is Kali Yuga, okay? Because you are at the farthest, outest reach from the center, the great central sun, which is the center of the galaxy. As you transit into Dwapara Yuga, you start beginning to question things. There is something like art, there is something like science. To have things in collective human consciousness like art and science, you need to think something beyond the physical senses, beyond the 5 senses. You need to evolve higher mind, and that comes next step as you're going towards the Vishnu Nabhi or towards the center of the galaxy. Apparently now we are here somewhere in the solar system, the entire solar system which I have marked over there, right? We are at this point. And then we are moving into Treta Yuga. Now Dwapara Yuga ending is characterized by learning to manipulate energies that are beyond what physical eyes can see. Take what we have, for example. We are having electricity. We can manipulate magnetism, electricity. We are controlling all these electrical forces, energies, subatomic particles. We have particle accelerators, all of this stuff we are doing, which the eyes cannot see. That's the characteristic as told in Vedas about Dwapara Yuga. You are seeing things beyond what the physical eyes can see. You are having some degree of science, let's say that. Treta Yuga is characterized, this entire time period of 37.5 million years after Dwapara Yuga is characterized by conquering space, conquering time, moving across galactic centers. You will conquer space travel in this period, we as collective humanity. because it is moving more and more towards revealing of higher sciences. That's where apparently we are. Now, I'm not sure about this. I've just collected this information for you to have as a reference point. Okay, so coming from Kali Yuga to Dwapara Yuga to Treta Yuga and moving towards Satya Yuga is the cycle we are in now as a collective, as a solar system. As we move towards this, we are moving towards higher and higher consciousness. Satya Yuga is where you will be able to do galactic travel, intergalactic travel, because you have pretty much nailed all the space travel right here. Like we see all the UFOs and so on. So all the time scales which I'm covering I've done a little bit of research from Sadhguru Isha Foundation, from Yukteswar Giri, who's the guru of Yogananda. And I've given the reference website if you want to look it up more there. But I have scaled it up in terms of millions of years, because here it refers to in thousands of years, right? We don't orbit around the galactic center in thousands of years. The last time we were in that position as solar system was 215 million years ago. And if you research that, it was the Permian extinction event, some sort of a worldwide catastrophic event which finished off all the dinosaurs or something like that. There were no human beings at this point last time we were here. If you rewind the clock and take us back to this point 250 million years ago, there were just dinosaurs dying, extinction on the earth, no human beings. Which brings us to a very interesting conclusion, which means what humanity in this ascension, in this new energy we are experiencing, we call it new energy, it is never new. It was there 250 million years ago, but there were no humans to experience it. This is what even Cryon is spoken of. There were no humans here to experience anything. How can you experience something when there are nobody to experience it? See? So this new energy which we are calling is actually always been there, and even Cryon has spoken about this as well. We are in another part of the solar system, another part of the galaxy which we were never there as humans last time we were here. So understand this, sorry my throat, understand this from the perspective of Ascension, of Lightworkers, of this new energy which we keep calling. If this is a cycle, if this is so, if this event actually keeps happening over and over again, we keep moving as a large time scale, as a cosmic time scale, entire solar system moving around the galaxy and its center in 250 million years, and if it is split like this, okay, half of 125 million years or the other half of 125 million years. We're talking millions of years. We hardly as individual human beings live up till 100. And even then we are not functioning very well, isn't it? But never mind. So if this is so, that means to say this energy has always been there. It has been there even if you add all these time scales, 12.5 plus 25, which is 37.5 plus 37.5, which is about 70 odd years, 80 odd years, 80 million years ago, we were in the last Treta Yuga. So we were in the same bridging point about 60 million years ago. Same point, but there were no human beings at that point. See? Maybe, just maybe, in Kali Yuga onwards, last Kali Yuga onwards, coming into this much stretch is what we know as history. Our history is developed only in this much cycle over here, which I am pointing to. Because we are talking about Dwapara Yuga is 25 million years. Our greatest historical facts and archaeological facts go only up till, I don't know, couple of tens of thousands, 30, 40,000 years ago. We don't have anything beyond that as an archaeological fact, right? So we are moving into area which is finishing of Dwapara Yuga, refining of scientific knowledge to an extent where we can travel in space and time, large distances across the galaxy, and Treta Yuga will conquer all of these sciences. Okay, this is as per this finding. As we near Vishnu Nabhi, more awakening occurs, higher consciousness, higher living occurs even on grander scales in the ascending cycle, and reverse happens on the descending cycle. As this goes touches the pinnacle, which is closest to the center of the galaxy, is the maximum evolution. Then it starts decreasing and goes all the way back to Kali Yuga. This is the reset, this is the restart of everything once again. Okay. Last point, I will leave you with this much. Cryon speaks. If you're listening to Cryon channel, this is for awakening people. The entire test of Earth is to finish in 144,000 years. And right now, in 2022, we are sitting on 100,000 mark, which means we have 44,000 more years to go as evolution. Now, this is Cryon speak, but considering this kind of evolution, I don't know how many millions of years we have got left in order to achieve this full evolution point. If you are talking of human consciousness evolution from a point of pinnacle of everybody, like all of the 7 billion or how many were 50, 60 billion, let's say, by that time, the population is roaming around with, aura around their head kind of a scenario. Everybody is living a life of a saint. Now you might say that takes millions of years. Probably so. Probably we'll achieve it at this point after 37.5 million years, which is Treta Yuga span over there. So I just wanted to leave you with this as a thought, because this is what comes from the ancient Indian texts of this land. The Yuga, the cosmic time cycles. Why the collective? This answers probably the question why the collective does not evolve fast. I mean, lightworkers who wake up, sensitive and empaths and souls who are awakening, they are feeling all this in their higher heart, higher mind, everything. And their constant question, I guess, just like I, is, well, why isn't, if this is so simple, why is everybody not working from the higher centers? Why is not everybody empathic or being kind, being compassionate, working for the greater good? All these higher ideals, so to speak. Why is everybody else not getting it? That becomes a question. Probably this Yuga concept in some way answers this. Now, I'm not saying that each one of whatever my projection is accurate by any stretch. I don't know. Actually, Sadhguru and Yukteswar Giri say we are orbiting as a solar system around some binary star. And that's the link I have given there. If you want to refer and do more research, go ahead. Okay, next I will catch up with more stuff on this Lightworker Awakening series. But I just wanted to begin with this because this is what kept coming to me. Make something on Yuga, make something on Yuga. You know how these things go. You never know what they are giving you this for. I hope this serves you well in, if nothing else, realizing the grand scale of things. We as a collective, Earth as part of the solar system, as part of the galaxy, we are part of something bigger. Much huge, as you can see. Okay, the ancients might have discovered something there, and it's worth researching. Okay, take care, be safe.